about to record the last episode of Ground Pass On Site Indian Wells Edition 2024. This has been quite the ride. Really pleased with how it all turned out and that we could bring our audience here to Indian Wells in the sort of last minute easy way that we did. I think I decided to do these mini podcasts after the first night. I think I decided, 10 minutes before I started recording, oh, why don't I do mini podcasts to recap each day 10 minutes before I started? And here we are. This has been quite the learning experience. We're such a small when I say small, we're so small. We're such a baby podcast. But so everything has kind of been on the fly. But I've kind of loved that because I'm learning on the fly. I hope you are coming along with the ride and learning with us on the fly. So it's been really a great experience. But here we are. It's the last episode of the Indian Wells edition of Ground Pass On Site, and it's Sunday. I mean, it's almost Monday from when I'm recording. It's that late, but the night sessions went pretty long today. But yeah, what was today, Sunday, like? Again, it's middle weekend, so the crowds were definitely on site for the day. It was a pretty nice day, not too hot, not too cold. It was definitely jacket weather as we got later into the night, but I started really early on the grounds today because we recorded episode 12 of the podcast. Yay! 12 episodes in. We're still a bi-weekly podcast, which is great because then it's manageable for Nick and I to handle. But we recorded the episode 12 of the podcast. It was more of a Q&A, mostly Nick cueing me and me giving A's. And it was really great. I'm going to also, in that podcast edit, I still have to edit it, I will include some interview quotes that I've gotten over my time here at Indian Wells. Again, I was super lucky to have a press pass, and I got to interview the players and get to know them better, which is great because I think that really does inform the fans a little bit more, because I think you see the players in court, you love their style of play, and maybe you want to get to know them a little bit more. I think it definitely gives the players a little bit more color, and you can sort of latch on to players easier when you know who they are and what their personalities are like, which you kind of get a little bit of in the press conferences. So look forward to that. I think at this point it's probably going to be out either late Monday or early Tuesday. It's really funny because we release bi-weekly but don't really have a date yet. But as we get bigger, we're going to have a set date. But right now, I think Monday, the new podcast will be out, if not Tuesday morning. Look forward to it. It's a really good one. And also there'll be a lot more content coming in. I've got so much footage. I filmed so much while I was here. So we want to be able to bring the fans into the experience of going to tournaments, to encourage more fans to go to tournaments. That's what this is all about. I think we're just here for the casual fan who wants to learn more about the sport, and also to help promote going to these tournaments and actually seeing tennis in person, because once you've seen tennis in person, you're hooked. You're a fan for life. But back to the recap of day five for Ground Pass On Site. The crowds were there, but the match schedule was manageable. We are in the third round of Indian Wells, so a lot of players are out. There's still some more players in, but the schedule has started to whittle down a bit. The singles matches are more manageable. You can kind of plan easier what your day will be like, starting kind of round 3, round 4, especially at the 2-week events. The matches kind of dwindled down a little bit. You do get more doubles matches, and I was able to see Coco Gauff and Jess Pegula play today, doubles against Sofia Kenin and her partner. It was a fun match, really great atmosphere. Again, I think, Coco Gauff is such a name and such a star that wherever she goes, she's probably going to pull a crowd. In the mix of her and Jessica Pegula, it was a bumping match, and it was the very first match I saw at 11 a.m. So matches started at 11, and that was the first one I saw. So definitely more doubles matches on the schedule, and I would say for sure support the doubles matches, especially players who are doubles specialists. It's really nice to be able to sort of support them and help support the sport, because I think doubles is having a hard time now. Nick and I are in the future planning to do a whole episode on doubles and how doubles can sort of maybe get better and be better promoted by the tours. But yeah, so started with the doubles, and then I went on to watch a whole bunch of singles matches. I watched Jiří Lehečka, who is a Czech player, absolutely just played the most perfect match against Andrei Rublev. Like, he did not, there was not a break point for Jiří Lehečka. Like, Rublev did not even get close to getting a break point, which was wild considering how well Rublev is a top 5 player. So it was quite the match. Jiří Lehečka is definitely one that I've been watching, but again, this is what these tournaments do. You finally see this player in person that you've just been casually watching on TV, and then you become a massive fan. And I'm a massive fan of Jiří Lehečka and his style of play. So saw that, saw Alcaraz play with FAA. That was a good match too. But yeah, just, walked around the grounds and kind of took a slow Sunday, I think this is day 5 for me, so I definitely started to feel the exhaustion a little bit and a little bit tired, and I think that's when you kind of, I was getting the last day feels as well. I was like, oh, it's my last day at Indian Wells. So I think I took it a little slow. Like, I ended up sitting on Stadium 2 and just watching Angie Kerber's match. It's really cool because I watched Angie Kerber win in the afternoon, and at night I watched Caroline Wozniacki win, and that just sets up it's like it's 2013 all over again, where we're having an Angie Kerber Carol Wozniacki match, flashback to the past. But yeah, so that was, kind of my day match-wise. The night session went really, really long. I was hopping between Beatrice Haddad-Maier's match and Ben Shelton's match with Francis Cerundolo. Both matches went to 3 sets and went pretty long, but I kind of left before the end of the Ben Shelton match because I had to jump on a shuttle to get back to my hotel. Ben Shelton did edge out Francisco Cerundolo in the end to take the match and to set up a rematch with Jannik Sinner. That should be a fun one. Of course, earlier in the day, Carlos Alcaraz set up his rematch with Fabian Marozsan, which is going to be another fun one to watch. Fabian Marozsan was the guy nobody knew about until the Rome Masters last year, and all of a sudden he beats Carlos Alcaraz, the number 1 player in the world, on clay in Rome, and everyone's like, who's Fabian Marozsan? Well, here we go. We get the rematch at Indian Wells. That will be fun to watch. I think that's going to be on Tuesday. I think that's going to be scheduled for Tuesday. So that should be a fun one as well. Same with the Jannik Sinner and Ben Shelton match. Tuesday is going to be a fun day. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this recap. By the time it was kind of like 5 p.m. Sunday, things had started to quiet down a lot on the grounds. It was actually quite surprising to see because, again, Friday was packed, Saturday was packed, Sunday, the morning was packed, but by the evening, people had started to leave. And I think that's just, it's work on Monday, so people called it a day early for Sunday. But yeah, again, have enjoyed this time I've had with you guys, just recapping on the daily, my time here at Indian Wells. I head home now, which is great. I miss my home. And I will be watching, like the rest of you, the rest of Indian Wells on TV. So stay with us. We're still going to update like we always had, just not live from the courts and live on the ground. But we'll still update you on all the tennis. So stick around and we'll see you on the episode later this week.